A series of unsettling videos were uploaded to a YouTube channel run by a woman named Donna Ayes, who believed something deeply disturbing was taking place inside her home. According to Donna, strange and unexplainable events began occurring, events that neither she nor her family could rationalize. In 2009, her brother passed away under unclear circumstances, and she claimed to have lived in a constant state of fear ever since. While some speculated that the activity could be her brother's spirit attempting to reach out, Donna was convinced it was something entirely different, something darker and more malicious. She reported that objects in the house would move on their own, especially when she was nearby. One night, while home alone, she noticed something unusual and began recording. In the footage, she can be heard saying, "That's not me, is it? The camera, come on guys. I'm just going to get a better view, 'cause this is amazing. I'm just going to turn the light up a bit as well. If that's you, please move it again. That is moving. Oh my God, that is moving. Oh, thank you. Wow." The camera captured a chandelier, slowly swaying back and forth on its own, before the video abruptly cut off. The incident clearly shook her, but it was far from the final strange occurrence she would document. An unknown user uploaded a series of disturbing videos to a YouTube channel titled Dark Parallels, before seemingly disappearing from the internet altogether. The channel contains only 5 videos, with each entry becoming progressively more unsettling. The first video, titled First Paranormal Experience, featured a description explaining that the uploader had moved out of their home following several strange incidents. The footage was recorded when they returned to collect some of their belongings. While the exact reason for their departure was not explicitly stated, it was clear that an unexplained presence had driven them away. This presence became much more apparent in the second video, which documented their second attempt to retrieve their items. During this visit, the atmosphere was tense, and it felt as though someone, or something, was standing just on the other side of the door. The third video followed shortly after, prompted by a call from a neighbor who reported strange noises coming from the empty house. The uploader returned to check the doors and windows. Although they initially tried to convince themselves it was merely an animal, it quickly became evident that the sounds were not of natural origin. Determined to find the source, they returned to the house once more, setting up an action camera inside. This camera ended up capturing something genuinely disturbing. In the final video, the uploader explained that the camera had been left behind overnight. Upon returning the next day and reviewing the footage, they were left visibly shaken. A specific moment in the recording made it entirely clear why they were terrified. Following that upload, the channel went completely silent, and no further videos were ever posted. On August 15, 1989, a family of 3 was driving along Interstate 205 near Stockton, California, when their car began to overheat. Forced to pull over, the father popped the hood to inspect the engine. Realizing they needed professional help, he left his wife with the car and set out on foot with his young son to find a payphone. As they walked, the boy noticed a camouflage jacket discarded by the side of the road. Curious, he approached the jacket and found an unmarked VHS tape sticking out of one of its pockets. He took the tape and later brought it home. Curious about what the abandoned tape might contain, the parents inserted it into their home VHS player. The contents were far darker than they could have anticipated. While the original unedited video has never been fully released online, various segments have surfaced over time. The footage opened on a massive fire burning at night. The person behind the camera spoke ominously, saying, "Look at it, look at it, look at the fire. This is my domain, my hell." As the recording continued, the camera refocused, revealing that the source of the blaze was a single-story home that appeared to be under construction. The cameraman continued his unsettling commentary. "I call it home, my hell. The whole sky is black with smoke. F that. I will there, too. Hard soul." The longer he spoke, the more disturbing the footage became. Eventually, the sound of arriving fire trucks could be heard. The cameraman mocked the emergency response before ending the video with a direct threat to the viewer. "Look at it. The fire department's trying to put it out. What a laugh. I got to go now, but remember me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Your house is next." The tape then abruptly cut to a scene from the 1984 horror film A Nightmare on Elm Street. It remained unclear whether the fire footage was recorded over the movie by accident or deliberately edited. However, it was evident that the person filming the blaze was the arsonist responsible for it. The family handed the tape over to the police, directing them to the exact location where it was found. Detectives returned to the site and confirmed the family's story. The jacket was still there, along with several other strange items nearby, including a wooden pestle, a glove, a cassette tape of metal music, and a ceramic skull. Upon reviewing the tape, one investigator noted, "I've never run across anything as eerie as this tape. It frightened me. As a matter of fact, I thought about it that night when I went to bed." Unfortunately, the shaky camera work and poor lighting prevented authorities from extracting meaningful clues about the fire's location. Despite a frame-by-frame analysis, investigators could not match the tape to any reported fires in California, leaving open the possibility that the arson had occurred anywhere in the United States. Given the repeated references to hell and evil, investigators suspected the crime may have been connected to Satanism. On June 1, 2024, a YouTube channel named Found Memories uploaded a video titled Tape 92, Found Footage, Jason Sleeping. Timestamped for 9:27 p.m. on April 22, 2007, the video opened with a camera positioned to face a sleeping child. Aside from the child turning occasionally in his sleep, nothing occurred during the nearly 30-minute recording. There were no unusual sounds, no shadowy movements, and no strange events. Yet, despite the complete lack of activity, the footage carried an inherently unsettling atmosphere. The absence of context and the prolonged, uncomfortable silence made the video deeply unnerving. According to the video's description, the original tape had simply been labeled Jason Sleeping. The uploader explained that it was discovered in a box full of abandoned camcorder tapes. The footage was uploaded to an online archive in the hope that someone connected to the video might eventually recognize it. While this provided some background, it left the most pressing question unanswered: why a 30-minute recording of a sleeping child existed in the first place. Initially, the footage appeared to be a potential entry in a staged analog horror project. However, an examination of the channel suggested otherwise. Created in April 2024, the Found Memories channel description read, "Uploading media I've found to archive, and maybe one day the original owners will find it and appreciate it. I've acquired thousands of videotapes and media over the years from various places, pawn shops, private sellers, auctions, and thrift stores, to name a few." The channel's catalog supported this claim. It featured over 180 different videos, almost all of which were mundane, ranging from children opening Christmas presents in 1991 to full wedding recordings. With the sole exception of Jason Sleeping, none of the archived tapes were strange or frightening. It seemed highly unlikely that an archivist would acquire and digitize hundreds of ordinary home movies simply to hide a single fictional horror video among them. The tape was likely a genuine piece of lost media. If the footage was authentic, the explanation behind it was likely ordinary. It was highly probable that a parent recorded the child to observe their sleeping patterns, perhaps to monitor for sleepwalking or sleep-talking. Many viewers echoed this theory, noting that parents occasionally use cameras to check if a child is waking up with unexplained scratches or to verify instances of sleepwalking. While the reality of the tape is likely innocent, the true motives behind the unnerving recording remain unconfirmed, waiting for the original owners to finally provide the answers. In 2001, a video surfaced from Redlands, California, that appeared to show a demonic figure caught on camera. The footage was taken inside the Barton Villa, a property that remains a historic landmark today. Filmed years before the advent of YouTube, the recording still managed to circulate widely. Throughout its roughly 20-minute runtime, the video followed a group of friends as they explored and broke into the Barton mansion, which was vacant and abandoned at the time. After exploring the exterior grounds, night fell, and the group moved inside. Initially, the exploration was uneventful, albeit tense. However, the situation changed drastically when they made their way upstairs.
Cover my back, all right? What the hell's that? That on the floor. Right there. Oh, shit! Oh, no!
Upon reaching the top of the stairs, the group encountered a tall, unidentifiable figure holding what appeared to be a lantern. The entity's height was abnormal, forcing it to bend beneath the door frame as it moved. The sighting fueled existing local legends, which claimed that cult-like activity had taken place in the mansion and that a demonic entity resided on the second floor. Decades later, the creators of the video never publicly admitted to faking the encounter, leaving the true nature of the footage unresolved. In 1961, a young man known only as Patient Number 18 was filmed for a Department of Psychiatry School of Medicine training series. The footage was not created for entertainment, but rather as an educational tool for psychiatric students. It featured a short interview with the man, who was exhibiting signs of what was then diagnosed as catatonic schizophrenia. From the beginning of the recording, the patient's demeanor was highly unusual. He remained entirely motionless, barely moving enough to turn his head. When asked simple questions, there was a severe delay before he provided any answer, during which his eyes darted around the room as if searching for the correct response.
How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you here?
That's difficult to answer.
Could you give me some idea?
Offhand, I can't.
Whose idea was it that you come here?
A psychiatrist.
And what happened that ended up with your being here in the hospital?
The psychiatrist decided that this was the situation for me.
Did he tell you why?
No, the psychiatrist did not.
Has anybody told you why?
No.
Have you any idea why?
Yes.
And what is that?
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them.
And in what way are you different?
I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do. And this influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
play the piano for people.
During that era, schizophrenia was commonly divided into several subtypes, including paranoid, disorganized, undifferentiated, residual, and catatonic. The prolonged delay patient 18 exhibited before answering questions is a symptom commonly referred to as thought blocking. As the interview progressed, his difficulty in answering simple questions appeared to worsen.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
I sit differently when I play the piano, and when I'm away from the piano I occasionally look differently from other people, and this has caused dislike from people.
They dislike you because you sit differently at the piano?
Yes.
What way do you sit at the piano that people would dislike you?
I cannot describe an illustration of how I sit.
And I can't imagine it, that it would make people angry at you, or at least dislike you. How do you know they dislike you?
My father does, and doctors do, because of the way I appear in relationship to the way I sit at the piano, and occasionally stand when I am away from the piano because of the way I sit at the piano.
Throughout the discussion, the patient made alarming claims, including the assertion that his own father disliked him. Whether there was any factual basis to this statement remained unclear. However, the most tragic portion of the evaluation came when he attempted to describe his overwhelming feeling of not belonging in his current environment.
As soon as I express the belief that I do not belong in this hospital, which is a mental hospital, then those who dislike me want to find a worse place for me.
I'm not sure I understand. Could you make that clearer for me?
Because patient 18 was never publicly named, his identity and his fate following the medical interview remain entirely unknown. On the morning of December 30th, 2019, a man named Philemon Ledesma was driving northbound near Gray Whale Cove in San Mateo County, California, when he witnessed a bizarre and terrifying accident. Shortly after 10:30 a.m., he called 911 to report that he had just seen a vehicle fly off the coastal cliffs. Officers arrived within 20 minutes and located tire tracks at the edge of the highway, leading directly toward a 40-foot drop into the Pacific Ocean. However, when authorities looked down, there was absolutely no sign of a vehicle or a driver in the water below. With no physical wreckage to examine, officers needed to verify Philemon's account. While checking his vehicle, they noticed a dash cam he had installed years earlier. Upon reviewing the footage, investigators found that it captured the exact incident. The video showed an SUV driving across the sandy shoulder of the highway, going airborne, and plunging straight down the cliff. The California Highway Patrol and Coast Guard immediately launched a massive search operation. Local fire crews and deputies scoured the area by land, sea, and air. While some vehicle debris was later found in the water, it was determined to be unrelated to the SUV from the footage. 2 days later, authorities released the dashcam video to the public in hopes of generating leads. Instead, it went viral and sparked widespread internet speculation. Over the following weeks, online viewers scrutinized the footage frame by frame. Some questioned why Philemon continued driving after witnessing the crash, while others struggled to understand the driver's actions. Before long, rumors spread that the video was a deepfake, fueled by the sheer improbability of a vehicle vanishing without a trace. However, the California Highway Patrol quickly dismissed these claims, and digital forensics experts confirmed the footage was highly likely to be authentic. The mystery of the vanishing SUV was eventually explained by the treacherous nature of the terrain. The cliffs along that stretch of highway drop into jagged rocks, narrow ravines, thick brush, and violent surf, capable of pulling a vehicle apart in minutes. The coastline is a maze that rescuers can barely access, easily hiding submerged wreckage. The case finally saw a breakthrough when human remains were discovered on Montara Beach, along with a California driver's license. DNA testing confirmed the remains belonged to 52-year-old Tracy Ivory Sinclair of San Francisco. A DMV record search revealed she was the registered owner of a 2007 Lexus SUV, perfectly matching the vehicle in the dashcam video. Her family had filed a missing person report months earlier and had been awaiting answers ever since. Although authorities finally identified the driver, they were never able to determine whether Tracy had lost control of the vehicle or had driven off the cliff deliberately. On the morning of Good Friday, April 19, 2019, 87-year-old Terry Radford was waiting near a bus stop on Worcester Avenue in Mansfield Woodhouse. He was entirely unaware that only minutes away, a stolen car was tearing through residential streets, driven by a man screaming that he was Jesus.
I'm Jesus! I'm descendant of God! And you lock me up! Watch!
Terry was a retired teacher who had spent his recent years caring for his wife as she suffered from severe dementia. Following her passing 7 months earlier, Terry had finally begun looking forward to the future and had planned 3 holidays abroad. Before he could take any of them, the stolen vehicle turned onto Worcester Avenue. Spotting Terry at the bus stop, the driver shifted the car into reverse and accelerated back toward the pavement. The vehicle mounted the curb and crushed Terry against the bus shelter with such force that he died at the scene. The driver stepped out of the wreckage and shouted, "I've killed him. I've killed the devil." He was soon identified as 38-year-old Gavin Collins. Collins had been released from prison less than 24 hours earlier, fitted with an electronic ankle tag under the home detention curfew scheme, a policy designed to let low-risk inmates serve the remainder of their sentences at home. However, when a friend picked Collins up from the prison gates the previous day, his behavior was already erratic, leading his friend to suspect he was under the influence of drugs. By the following morning, Collins's behavior had escalated into a severe psychotic episode. He entered a neighbor's house, threw prescription medication on the floor, and began unplugging electrical devices, claiming they were the work of the devil. He then walked into another neighbor's home, stole their car keys, and drove away. The horrifying details of his state of mind were captured on a dash cam recovered from the wreckage of his final crash. The footage showed Collins speeding through oncoming traffic, shouting profanities, and ripping the rearview mirror from the windshield. Suffering from extreme delusions, he screamed that he was a descendant of God and that anyone who defied him would go to hell.
This! You think I'm strong? Wait until you meet my of him, because ultimately he'll give her an ultimatum: either listen to Gavin, Mum, or you're gonna go to hell, and he'll disown you, and so will I, but it's now grandma's, the rightful ones, how it's meant to be.
Upon reaching Skegby, Nottinghamshire, Collins lost control of the stolen vehicle and crashed into a house. The homeowner, who was standing in the front garden, had to dive out of the way to survive. Undeterred, Collins climbed out of the wreck and demanded the homeowner's car keys, threatening, "Do you believe in Jesus? Because I am Jesus, and I will kill you if you don't give me the keys." When the homeowner refused, Collins approached a woman who had stopped her car to offer help. He forced his way into her vehicle, drove a short distance, threw her out, and continued toward Mansfield Woodhouse. This was the second car he had stolen that morning, and he crashed it shortly after. Unfazed by back-to-back collisions, Collins then broke into a nearby home, where a mother and her 2 children were eating breakfast. He approached the family, used his own blood from his crash injuries to draw crosses on their foreheads, and demanded the mother's car keys, threatening her children's lives if she refused. This third stolen car was the one Collins used to strike Terry Radford. By the time officers reached Worcester Avenue responding to reports of a reckless driver, Terry was lying near the shelter with fatal injuries. Collins was still inside the vehicle attempting to escape, but was tasered and apprehended by police. The entire rampage had lasted approximately 30 minutes. 9 months later, a jury found Collins guilty of manslaughter, and he was sentenced to life in prison. During the trial, Collins claimed he had no memory of the events. He testified that he had spent the vast majority of his adult life in prison and had suffered from auditory hallucinations since childhood. Further investigations revealed a massive systemic failure. While incarcerated, Collins had been held in segregation for being a danger to others. Just weeks before his release, he had set his cell on fire twice and attacked a guard with a plastic knife. These infractions should have automatically disqualified him from early release, but prison officials overlooked them, a bureaucratic failure that ultimately cost Terry Radford his life.